About 4 months ago, I got a DM asking, "Hey Daniel, what do you think about the Walther PPQ?" So I gave my honest opinion. I have no idea. I've never shot the gun, so I couldn't tell you. But it got me thinking, the Walther PPQ, I've heard about it, but I've never shot it. I didn't have any experience with it. So I shot a bunch of gun people DMs. Hey, what do you think about the Walther PPQ? Is the PPQ good to go? And I got the same consistent answer. The PPQ is dope. It's legit. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I asked some more, and I found out no one really owns any Walther. No one owns the PPQ. And I'm like, well, if it's good, why don't you own one? And I was getting the same consistent answer, well, there's no aftermarket support, the guns are kind of weird, but when you really dig into it, there's a lot of holsters out there. There's extra mags for the gun, there's mag wells, everything that you have for your Glock, stippling, framework, slide work is available on Walthers. So I'm trying to figure out, is the Walther PPQ a swing and a miss, or is it a legit dark horse that everyone's just overlooking?
I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drifting apart. We're letting go, drifting apart. I can hurt you like you hurt me too, me too. We're letting go, drifting apart. We're letting go, drifting apart.
Getting the PPQ in hand, all the boxes for a great, amazing gun are ticked off. Starting with the trigger. The trigger on this gun is love. 5.6 pounds of buttery, crisp goodness. The magazine releases right where you need it, so you don't have to break your grip to drop the magazine, but you don't have to worry about your support hand pushing it out. They're ambi-slide releases that work for left-handed people, and the grip feels amazingly molded to your hand. In addition to the great ergonomics of the gun, Walther's support is unmatched. They believe in their guns so much that if you don't like it, you can just return the gun to them and they will give you 100% guarantee. I don't know if there's anyone in the industry who believes in their product so much that you can just buy it, and if you don't like it, they will give you 100% refund. So on the tabletop, the PPQ is legit, but what I really want to know is, on the range, does this gun run? After shooting through the first mag of the PPQ, I realized why the Walther PPQ is not the Glock killer they want it to be. The first issue that I had with the PPQ is the recoil impulse. It has what's known as a step-chambered barrel, which gets higher velocities than your standard barrel. The problem with that, though, is that it recoils a little bit more than your standard Glock 19 or M&P. In addition to the barrel, the PPQ has a fairly high bore axis. That basically means there's a lot of metal above your hand moving back and forth, which helps the gun flip in your hand a little bit more. When I shot the PPQ, I found it somewhat difficult to really hang on to it for longer strings of fire. The last issue, and this has less to do with the shootability of the gun, but the PPQ, when you pick it up, high quality, amazing, doesn't really come to mind. The texture on the grip isn't bad, but everywhere else in the frame is this really smooth polymer that feels kind of cheap. Now, that is not to say that this gun is cheap. This is not a cheaply made gun. They did not cut any corners on this gun. But when I pick it up, I'm not overwhelmed with what I feel. So if it were my money, I probably wouldn't get the PPQ. However, if I had my heart set on getting a Walther, I might save up some more money and get this. This is the Walther Q5 Match SF, and the SF stands for steel frame. The minute you pick up the Q5, you immediately know this gun was designed from the ground up by shooters. Walther kept the best parts from the PPQ, so the amazing trigger is still there. The ambi slide lock is still there. Everything else, however, has been turned up to 11. Because of the weight of the slide in the frame, the Q5 tracks insanely flat. This gun barely moves. You don't even really need amazing technique to run this gun flat. The minute the slide goes back into battery, your sights are back on. The Q5 SF is a really weird gun. When you pick it up, you feel the heft and you feel the weight of it, and you notice how long the slide is. But the minute you pick up your target and pull the trigger, the gun disappears. And all that's left is you and your target and an amazing shooting experience. What does all of this amazing steeliness cost you? Well, it's not cheap. The Q5 Match SF costs $1,400, which puts it in the category of really fancy gun and kind of moves it out of the EDC average gun guy category. And that brings us back to the base model PPQ, which for a bunch of different little reasons, I'm not that big of a fan of. So if someone asks me for a gun recommendation, it's probably not gonna be this one. And that really makes me sad because as a company and their philosophy, I love Walther. Right now, I feel like Walther's doing the whole Lamborghini thing where they go all out on the last model like the Lamborghini Murcielago SV before they bring out a new contender. They're poised to. It's been 10 years. It's about time for a new Walther. And I think if they put the attention that they put into the PPQ into a new gun, they're gonna wipe the floor with everyone else. But we'll have to see.